All right, check, check, 1, 2. We are in there. So it's your boy Sean. You know what we came to do. Let me start off by saying my disclaimer. None of what we're about to go over is financial advice. It's just education, entertainment, yada yada. So don't run into this thinking that I'm gonna cover your losses, because I won't. With that out the way, let's jump right back into it then. Last week we were talking about prices probably moving down, and that's exactly what we got. I got a couple lines here from the intra week, but let's just kind of look at this weekly chart on SPY and kind of break that down. So based off of where we're at, we had leg 1, a pullback, and then leg 2. It's interesting how as we approach the measured move, we got a lot of buying, kind of pushing prices higher. That might not mean too much, but it's something to know. Maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll get more confirmation. I think at this point, just standard procedure would be to expect a test of the previous support. Let me see, is there a long trade? Looks like there is a long trade. It's an aggressive long, yeah. So if you look at the price action, we have a new high, a new swing high here. And we get a first entry, pullback, second entry. So just above this bar, you're gonna get a second entry. It's gonna be aggressive. It's gonna be super aggressive buying above there, since it's lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. Maybe the better setup is going to be like a higher low setup. I'd even consider kind of moving that channel, because there's probably a downward trend through here. And what I really want to wait for is, before I make too many assessments for the next position I take, I want to see the next bar that's going to close above a previous bar. In this entire move, the bears have so much momentum. Every time the bulls have showed up, the bears are able to push prices back down. And so that's like a sign of like strength. So if next week we break above and we're unable to like close above, and we close back down in there, that's going to be a sign that one, long trades are a little too early. But ideally what you would want to see is this this bear close above here. And then once we get that bear close above this bar, we'll look for those two legs to this low. And if we get like a failed second entry short, that's a really good long. Or if we get the bear close, move to a new low, and then like a higher low, triple test, things like that, that'd be a good long. So this long right here is just early. It's aggressive. You're going to have to kind of anticipate that the bulls are going to be able to take control of this market, which it could very well end up looking like this, where for a couple days it's green and then it just closes completely bearish. So I'd be careful buying above this bar, but we would expect for price to come and test this area about 416, somewhere in there. So setups are coming, but on this weekly chart, we're going to hang tight. Let's see if we can get the proper setup. If we dive into the daily, there might be some shorter term plays on the daily. I'll take this green line off just for the sake of confusion. It looks like we had, you see the support, and then we broke lower. See right here, we have a green bar that closes above previous bars. So once we start kind of closing below this bar, I'm looking at that like the bears are in control, right? That's why prices are moving down. And then kind of like what I was saying about on the weekly chart, once we get this bar right here that closes above, really what I'm going to do is take from this high just to wherever this close happens, and I'm gonna count this as kind of like the first leg. And so price is gonna try to push up once, maybe pull back. It's gonna try to push up twice, and on that second push higher, um, we're gonna want to see it attack these highs. In this situation, ideally, we could even count off the lows. So we're gonna see this first move higher, and we're gonna want to see prices try to go lower once. If it can't close lower and fails, that's a good sign. If it tries to go lower a second time and can't close, that's a really good sign. But if it goes higher and closes below, I think we're just going to try to play out this trend like normal. So it'd be a breakout, move to a new low, and then maybe a reversal. So right now, there's some potential for some key trades, and of course, there's an aggressive long. If you just buy down here somewhere, it'll probably come up to this EMA, this 416 area, but it's not a true setup, and it's really nothing that I would wanna trade yet. But we're getting close. We're getting close. There's a channel in there. Another thing you want to be cautious of is the channel, obviously, because if there is a channel, I don't want to use that one. Let me use this instead. If there is a channel, maybe through here, you don't really want to go long until all of this is played out. So just something to keep in mind on the ES. Let's go to the bit. And by bit, I mean Bitcoin. So on Bitcoin, what are we looking at? So we were expecting the test of this previous sort of support area. That's exactly where we went. No big surprise there. I want to see, is this a second entry long? Again, we have another sort of failed breakout second entry long. It's not as clean though, because we have this bear signal bar. So, if it breaks above here, that's the second entry long. But this bar is bullish. Sorry, it's not bullish. It's kind of bearish. It's bearish with a bullish hue, but I don't feel too comfortable buying above that. And I would also keep in mind that on a larger scale, we have kind of leg one. This is what I'm talking about. The first time prices are able to actually close above is right there. So that's where the line goes. And we get one leg up. Prices try to attack the lows. Then we get a second attempt for prices to close above previous bars, which is right there. And once that fails, that's second entry short off this low. First entry, second entry. You gotta be a little advanced because of the doji, but you can still sell dojis at extremes. So you could have sold that, and then when you get that red bar, you're for sure thinking that we're gonna come down here. So right now, there's a lot of momentum to the downside. So I would want to see, ideally, prices close above a previous bar, not just move above. It needs to close. So I wouldn't want to take a long trade on Bitcoin at least for a week until we get that close. And then when we get that close, depending on how far it is from this high, maybe you drop a limit order. But I wouldn't have a stop above here and expecting it to take me in. I would just wait, let this all play out first. So I mean, the entire, not the entire market, but all markets kind of have the same thing going on right now with this sort of like congestion zone, a break lower. So there's a high expectation we're going to come test the support. I just don't see the technical setup that gives us the highest probability. So, and that's trading sometimes, is, you kind of are expecting something, but you don't get the setup, so you might skip it. And, that's what we'll do if we have to. On the daily chart, let's see if we go down to the daily. Maybe the daily will show us a trade. So on the daily, you can kind of see, again, similar things. So off this high, you see how prices are unable to close above the previous bars until here. So that's leg one. And then you get an attempt to go lower, a move higher, and then that second attempt to go lower is what actually pushes it all the way through. And then you get some choppiness here, then you get a break above there. So I would consider this leg as like bear momentum, and then once this bar right here closed, I would go ahead and get my line, just get my line through there. And so then the same thing applies, even though I'm expecting, because I'm trading the structure. I'm not looking for shorts per se. I really want to buy down here, and hopefully we're going to get something up here. So in order to do that safely, I want to know that this is played out. So what I'd love to see is that, okay, as prices push up, it tries to go lower once, can't do it. And even if it just goes lower once from this point, that's going to be a failed second entry, because we have this low, the first attempt to go lower, then there'll be one more attempt to go lower. That's a better trade. It'll be a little aggressive because this situation hasn't completely played out, but it'd be a big indication. If it traps shorts down here, that'd be a nice indication that we might come test this 34 level. But ideally, you're going to see it try to go lower once, and then if it tries to go lower twice and fails after this break, boom, boom. That's where we really, really want to start to get engaged and find a trade long. But if not, we're going to get two legs, and then we're going to try to make a new low. So I don't see a trade right now. The only real bias I have is that we're going to come test here, but there's not a setup either. So kind of on my hands. And these videos, you know, like you're going to be on your hands for a little bit, you know, but when they come, they're going to hit. And ideally, you're going to be able to knock trades out the park once you get the setup. So just be patient. Usually we trade like a 2-minute chart, you know, a 2,000 tick chart. So we're used to getting trades kind of quickly. But of course, on the daily and the weekly charts, you're gonna have to wait sometimes a while before you get your setup, and that's fine. So that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. Let's look at gold. We'll start off on the weekly, then we'll come back to the daily. So right now on the weekly for gold, let's see. We're just pushing out of this range pretty strongly. Slightly different context here because there is it's a range. It's like two ranges. So starting with the smaller range, yes, we're expecting prices to come test our support. But on a bigger scale, we have a bigger range, and we had that higher low that kind of took off. So we might even expect prices to try to work their way back down to this lower side without even checking up. And what might end up happening, honestly, is that we get a push higher, it traps all the bulls and closes back lower, and that'll be a higher probability trade for the short. So on the weekly chart, maybe we might see something where it pushes higher, traps all these longs, closes back down in here, and then you go short and you try to play it for the support. If not, I don't know, maybe we'll come back up in here and then we'll get like this triple test up here and you go short from there. Not really interested in going long because we're in the middle of this range. You don't want to initiate trades per se from the middle, not like that at least. And if we're following the price action, it looks like we have a leg right there, right? Because the bulls are in control. Bulls are in control. This is the first attempt for the bears to take back control. It pushes higher once, and then now the bulls are going lower for the second time, and they're able to really take control pretty strongly. I mean, you could still get a long trade down here, and that would be a second entry long, but it's just kind of aggressive. Unless this thing goes all the way to the bottom without getting any break higher, goes all the way to the bottom and gives you like a bull set up down here, it's going to be aggressive because it's a falling knife. And at that point, the trend, like this bull trend probably is played out, and we're going to be more focused on this leg. But if we do get all the way down here without a break above and get a no bar, maybe that's a second entry long that is worth the risk, because that's a really nice risk reward trade. And then on the daily, let's see what we got on the daily. We're just working lower. I'd probably consider, I was doing some intraday trading this week. I'd probably consider, so like we had that leg or whatever, but on this scale, off this high point, does that bar actually close above? I'm trying to look at this bar right here. No, it doesn't. So from this high point, the first bar to actually close above is right there. So we're going to be looking at one leg down, and now we're making that second leg down. So that gives a lot of credence, because we have a trend, a breakout side, move to a new low. So as we start getting bull closes above previous bars, it's more likely to actually have some weight. We'll still need to see how it responds to the EMA, but once we get that bull close above this area or any previous bar, whether it's later, whenever, we're going to have a new trend line going up, and then we're just play it like we always play them, right? Looking for the break, test of the new high. So for now, I don't see anything I love. By next week, though, I think we'll start to slow it down, because there will be some setups coming pretty soon, but they're not quite ready to go yet. So and then again on the daily chart, right? Like this is Sunday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So it was probably like a week ago, right? There's a short there on the daily chart. You already have a breakout pullback right there. Failed second entry long. You're so close to this low. That'd be the probably only aspect of the trade you don't like. But if you're willing to kind of risk that, that would have been your trade on the daily chart. So there are some daily chart trades. I mean, they're in there. I'm not really around during the week to hop back in and micromanage those trades. So ideally, most of the trades that I will manage and kind of display will be on the weekly chart, because it'll just be easier for everyone to follow. It'll be a little easier for everyone to sort of manage, so people aren't caught like, because if you miss a day and then get stopped out and you don't have a stop loss and things go against you, it could just get kind of messy quick. But at least on the weekly chart, it's slow enough where most people should have enough time to manage trades as they come along. Because that's the point. We're here to make money. We're here to get some really amazing returns. It's not financial advice. You're going to have to do your own research when it's actually time to take the trade. Do your own research. Make sure you have your own risk tolerance and you're comfortable with it. But I'll point it out when they show up. Cool. So that's our three majors. Again, if you're watching it and are just curious, I'm telling you, I do these videos so that like we can make money. Like this isn't marketing material. This is money material. So if you have a stock that you're in or a stock that you're thinking about trading, drop it in the comments, and next week I will break it down and we're gonna figure out where to trade it so we get the most value out of that. Let's tap back in with Palantir and Twitter, and we'll call it a wrap. So Palantir. Again, I mean, it's what we expected from Palantir, right? We had that just weak market, just super weak price action. So once we broke below this 950 level, it just kind of gapped down, and that's what we'd expect, right? Like once we get below there, kind of crazy for Palantir. I like that we have a bullish bar, but again, it's like falling knife syndrome. I don't want to buy it, but even on like another scale, so we have like leg one, break outside, move to a new low. So we need to be paying attention, because there will be a buy on Palantir if we get a bull leg. Palantir will be a buy. So almost like the next time that prices, this is a weekly chart though, so it's going to take a couple weeks. But the next time prices close above this previous bar or any previous bar, hey, bull trend. And then we're going to try to play some sort of setup so we can buy it around 9:45. I think here in these videos, we're going to focus on technicals, but I will add that here's where you do want to be aware of some fundamentals, because yes, we might get the technical setup for long, but whatever is going on with Palantir, I know they were saying that they have like, I forget the actual term, but essentially employees have stock that they can cash out for money. So until all of that is played out, I think analysts are saying that sometime this winter that should have all played out. Then maybe we'll have more consistent price action with Palantir, because right now I think there are some employees who still have stock that they can sell for income, and as price pushes down, that's some of them, and sometimes they're investors too. But there's kind of like a fundamental situation with Palantir that once that plays out, because apparently on the books, Palantir has like no debt, they have like a few billion in cash. So I mean, the company is structured pretty well, but there's a situation that is driving prices down, and until that is settled, I'd feel more comfortable only considering technical analysis. But until then, you kind of want to be aware. I forget the name of it. I'll look it up in next week's video. I'll bring it up. It's literally just where employees get money instead of payment, and they can cash in on those stocks. I'm sorry, they get stock instead of payment, and they can cash in on that stock and pay themselves whenever they want, stuff like that. So with Palantir, it's looking good. Hopefully we find some support. Too early to really be aggressive and buy anything, unless you just want to invest. It's a good price, whatever. But for the technical trade, definitely keep an eye on Palantir. It's almost time. Let's go to Twitter. Only thing that I really have to say on Twitter is how sometimes with like trading stocks, you can have like a super unfair advantage if you kind of understand how gaps work. Remember, weeks ago I was telling y'all about the gap, how because we have this gap, we'll probably fill this gap before we stop out any of these shorts, and that's exactly what happened. Now from here we could literally blow right back up, but we're in the downtrend, so I'd be more inclined to just kind of look for the pullback that fails and try to go short. But that was really the main thing. Like with stocks, when you see that gap, generally we're going to try to fill that gap, and then whatever it's going to do, it's going to go do. So that's why up in here, I mean, these aren't clean trades. It's a lower high, maybe not the best lower high, but it is. So they're there. It's a trade, but not the best trade. But once you saw that gap, you were kind of just like, hey, as long as my stop is somewhere up here and I got my target down here, we'll probably fill that and then do whatever we're going to do. So with Twitter, you should be bearish. We have this trend, a breakout side. The first attempt to go higher kind of fails. We're going to get maybe a second attempt to go higher. If that fails, I might go short. If that second attempt to go higher actually closes above and stuff, I would just let it play out and then try to get short maybe somewhere else, or wait until the trend changes. But for now, it's bearish. So as long as it's bearish, I'm looking for shorts, and I'm going to find reasons for like whenever the counter trend idea plays out, I'll try to find a reason to get short. But I'm not looking to buy. Even if I get a beautiful green hammer bar right here, second entry long, I'll probably just skip it still. Yeah. So that's pretty much what we got. I think last week was like a tough trading week because it was just so choppy. It was so volatile. It was definitely tricky. So hopefully we can calm down this upcoming week. We get some better trends, some more consistent trends, less chop. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But again, I'm gonna keep saying that until I actually get some of y'all to engage with me. Like seriously, you know, like y'all will see. We're gonna find some really really amazing trades here in the near future, and I just want anyone who watches my videos to feel empowered to make money with this market, because you know there's just so many opportunities, and you know my personal trading has been great, and I don't know, I want to extend some of that um, success to other people. Hopefully we can build a community that, you know, we're all doing our thing, we're all sharing ideas, making money off of them. So anything you're trading, anything put in there, I'm just always looking for new markets, more opportunities myself, and we can start a dialogue on them. So that's pretty much what I got for this week. I think next week we'll try to slow it down. Maybe I can explain like some more technical analysis things. If the market still hasn't shown us any like real trades, maybe I can show y'all some like new technical analysis ideas and stuff like that. Um, but for now, that's what I see. So let's wait. Let's see if we get those bull closes this week. That'd be what we're looking for. This week, we want to see if we're going to get those bull closes, especially on SPY, Bitcoin. Um, we just want to see that bull close. Once we get that bull close, then we can start to really consider how to structure our trades for a long, maybe if we can come back and test here, even better. But the price action will let us know. So we'll be waiting and watching. Cool, cool. All right, guys, it's about that time. Y'all have a great trading week. Y'all tap in with me, DM me, comments, whatever. Keep in touch, and we'll be back to do it again next week. So see y'all. Go be successful. Go get a bag. Go live out your dreams. It's waiting on you. Let's get it.